The research presentation is on the article The Sources and Maintenance of Professional Self-Efficacy Beliefs by Gio Valiente and David B. Morse. The purpose of this study was to explore the self-efficacy beliefs of male professional golfers. Self-efficacy is the extent or belief a person has in one's own ability to complete tasks and reach set goals. An individual's self-efficacy is influenced by how they interpret the physiological and emotional states they undergo. This article states that athletes can often experience debilitating and energizing arousal depending on what made those states through interpretation and framing. Sport and exercise researchers report that self-efficacy beliefs both predict and mediate motivation and performance in an individual athlete. Coming from within the social cognitive theory, nothing is more important than one's belief in theory, own ability to execute the behaviors required to reach their desired goal. Self-efficacy beliefs constitute the key factor in human agency. According to Valiente, to date the transformational power of self-efficacy has been validated across a variety of achievement domains. When an athlete has higher efficacy, it results in better performance by influencing cognitive, emotional, motivational, and behavioral factors that directly affect the performance. Individuals with higher efficacy often engage in more adaptive thought patterns, feel less anxious, and face difficult situations head on. They have also been found to exert more effort longer and more effectively. Studies have explored golf-specific self-efficacy, have mostly related self-efficacy to visualization. An example would be a study done to test the relationship between self-efficacy, pre-competitive imagery, and performance in collegiate golfers found that independently predictive of a golf putting task and the general mastery imagery both mediated self-efficacy and performance and accounted for significant variance in self-efficacy. This was accomplished through positive imagery raised by self-efficacy. This study also aims to contribute to the existing literature in three ways. The first is to explore rare samples to provide unique insights to the motivational and psychological variables that allow these golfers to be successful. Second contribution lies in the exploration of precisely how self-efficacy beliefs interact with professional golfers' performance. Specifically, how professional golfers develop self-efficacy, the strategies they enlist to maintain self-efficacy over time, and whether varying levels of self-efficacy differently influences their cognitive patterns, emotional states, and behaviors. And the third main purpose of the study was few researchers have explored the source of self-efficacy using qualitative methods. The methods used in this research study was 12 professional golfers who spent at least 2 full years ranked inside the top 125th of the PGA Tour between the years of 2004 and 2010. They were recruited by the first author and asked to take part in an in-person interview in which they would be asked to discuss their histories as a golfer. The participants had no personal or professional relationship with the investigators and were not informed by the theoretical framework. An open-ended interview protocol was developed. The interview was semi-structured, allowed for formal and informal questions and flexibility. The same questions were asked at each interview. The first set of questions were designed to assess basic descriptive information before addressing studying specific for study. These cover the number of years playing, age, etc. The questions were designed not to lead the golfers towards a specific conclusion. The questions were also designed to keep with the understanding of the sources and effect of self-efficacy and theoretical notions. Some sample questions: on a scale of 0 to 100, how confident are you in your game? What experience informed that number? All the interviews were held on-site tournaments or in private rooms away from distracting noise. All interviews were recorded and transcribed. The transcriptions were coded using guidelines by Miles and Huberman, scholars within the field of self-efficacy. They developed a start list of core codes and corresponding definitions consistent with the conceptual framework. To understand the source of self-efficacy, they examined common abilities in the development of the participants' self-efficacy beliefs. 3 themes emerged from the participants' responses relating to the powerful role that mastery experiences have as the primary source of self-efficacy, the personal and social strategies used to maintain self-efficacy, and the influence of it on thoughts and feelings. In this article, 3 themes emerge from the qualitative analysis of interview responses. The first and most powerful source comes from enactive mastery experiences. Second, the golfers maintain high efficacy over time to recall prior success. Strategically framing experiences. Third is self-efficacy influenced by professional golfers' thought patterns, outcomes, and their emotional being. In active mastery, here athletes gauge their ability to accomplish tasks based on how they performed on basic tasks. Individuals who have experienced success face future tasks in believing they will be successful. Success is often linked to a combination of factors directly linked to the golfer. For example, a score of 72 may exceed the expectation of a beginning golfer, but fall short of a seasoned golfer. Perceived success is the cornerstone to building a strong sense of self-efficacy. The second source of self-efficacy is vicarious learning. An individual looks to improve not only by simply measuring skills, but also how others are progressing in the same task. And the third source comes from the messages in the form of verbal and social persuasions that individuals receive from others, such judgment from their performance. The implications of the study. The influence of self-efficacy on the participants support Albert Bandura's contentions regarding the sources of self-efficacy, particularly with respect to prior mastery experiences. Golfers in this study reported that prior success was the strongest recurring source of their self-efficacy. Although prior experience is the primary source of self-efficacy information, self-efficacy researchers collectively agree that the development and ongoing maintenance of self-efficacy is not an automatic result of objective prior success and failure, but rather emerges from processing, evaluating, and weighing the meaning of experiences. For further discussion in regards to the research article, we'll generate some questions. Can self-efficacy help all athletes? And self-efficacy is the key to success in sports. Without confidence in one's ability, an athlete cannot perform to his or her potential. What is the best quality of self-efficacy? And active mastery. It helps them reflect the prior experience. An example would be in baseball, a batter in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs and the bases loaded and his team is down. A batter thinks about hitting a grand slam to win the game. This is due to the batter hitting home runs in previous tense situations. And last but not least, can this help athletes of all ages? And yes, these skills can be taught to all ages and can help kids overcome struggles or slumps they may endure regardless of the sport they are participating in. And this concludes the research article.